Hi, Lori. Paul Elwood here, and getting ready to go over "Landslide," which is a great song. Thank you for putting that in front of me. This is my this is me. This is my messy studio. This is my Godin guitar, which is a lot of fun to play. If you get a chance to try one out in a music store, I would highly recommend it. It is a nylon string electric guitar, so it's more, I guess, more 50% classical, 50% electric, but it's pretty cool. I like the sound of it, and you can play it acoustically, which is what I'm doing today. So how this works is you can see my smiling mug, and then you can also see my hand on the left hand, which will help to indicate, left hand position stuff, and then you can see my hand on the right, which will help to show you what I'm doing here, and then you can see both together for when that's appropriate. Okay, so without further ado, you know what, I'm going to leave it, I'm going to say, okay, this is still me, but I'm going to leave it over here so that you can hear me, but you can see what I'm actually doing. So, okay, so Landslide, a beautiful song, and it's in a, the chords are fairly straightforward, they're pretty simple, and what you would call hand-friendly. So this is what we would call the first position down here by the nut of the guitar, right? Oh, before I get any farther, first position chords. But you want to make sure that you're tuned. So you need to have a tuner. I use this snark, which you can see. Can you see? You can see on the neck of my guitar. It just clamps onto the. I just leave it on there all the time. In fact, I have a couple of them on different guitars. But you don't need to have like that. They're about 15 bucks, I think. But you do need to have the tuner. So, and before the class starts, you should make sure so that you're using your time efficiently. You should make sure that your guitar is tuned up. This song has a standard tuning, which is E, A, D, G, B, E. So you can tune your guitar up to a standard tuning like that. A lot of online resources for tuning in case you need that, and if not, then just go ahead and tune your guitar. But the thing that I learned about, and I told you also that you need a capo. Here is, get it in front of the camera. Here's a capo. This one has like a little adjusting screw on it, you can see. And the reason why I like this capo over a standard capo is that because you can adjust the pressure that's pushing down on the neck of the guitar, your strings don't go out of tune so much. So typically what happens is when you get a capo on there, it just really clamps down really hard on the neck of the guitar, and it can pull the strings out of tune. When you take it off, not so much when you're capoed, but when you take it off, then your strings are out of tune and you have to retune. So the adjustable capo, which is a little more expensive, I would guess maybe sub 10 bucks anyway, but that's the one I like. You don't need to get that particular one. Any capo will do, but you do need a capo to play this song the way that Stevie Nicks does it, or at least that they do on the Landslide on the recording. Okay, so we're going to play that capo at the third position. The other thing, tuning. The other thing that it might be important to note is that this song is played. I use a metronome just sort of figure out how. I don't know if you can hear that clicking, right, to remind me how quickly to play. And often I find for myself and also for other guitar players, you'll start at one speed, and typically when you know the song pretty well, you just start speeding up, right? So when you're done, you're not playing at the same speed than you started. And a metronome will help keep you honest. And I have a separate one. It's like a metronome device. But again, it's the kind of thing you can get as an app. And probably the same app that you get for your iPhone or for your Android phone that has the tuner on it will also have a metronome function. So I would recommend that. All right. So I'm going to put my capo on the third fret of the guitar, which is this guy right here. And it doesn't go, there's no top or bottom there's a front and back definitely, but there's no top or bottom to the capo. So whatever, if you put it on from the bottom, or if you put it on from the top. And in terms of how it goes on, it just needs to go on behind the fret. So this is, if you think about it, what you've done with the capo is you've essentially made these strings shorter. So instead of like the full length all the way to here, you're shortening them to here. And where the string ends will be right where it contacts the fret. Okay, so put the capo anywhere behind the fret that you're interested in. So now what we've done is we're still playing the same chord shape with our left hand. Hold on. We're still playing the same shape with our left hand, right? But we've moved it up 3 frets. And what I learned about capoing, so why guitarists do this, which I didn't know before, but now it's become pretty apparent, is it's not so much to change, partly to change the key so that if they're accompanying themselves and they sing in a particular key and they know the song, in one position, you can use the capo to move the song the way that you know it on the neck of the guitar to another position, so it's more comfortable for you to accompany another singer or for yourself, right? But really, for a guitar player, the reason why you put a capo on is because if you know how to play stuff using open strings, a lot of like country picking stuff, like showing off there a little bit, sorry, but you can do the same thing in a different position using the same fingerings with a capo. If I really knew what I was doing, I wouldn't need to use the capo for that. I could do exactly the same thing. But to play those in the first position and to play the same pattern in another position, your hand it wouldn't be the same position for your hand, so you'd have to learn to do that over again. So it's more convenient and more easier. It's an easier thing to use the capo. So for us, for this song, we're capo to the 3rd fret. So I'm going to show you briefly some left-hand positions, and I'm going to talk about the right hand a little bit. For finger picking, which is the picking style, which is what's happening with the song that you know, right? Typically, you might pick, and so I do pretty common, use my thumb and first finger to pick, right? And the pattern that we can start with, you'll hear me deviate from it regularly, but I'll try to stick to it as best I can. Is 1, 4, 2, 3, 1, 4, 2, 3, 1, 4, 2, 1, 4, 2, 3. Occasionally it goes 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 3, 2. And when I say the numbers, what I'm talking about is not the number of the string. I'm talking about the pattern that your finger makes. 1, 4, 3, 2, 3, 1, 4, 2, 3, 1, 4, 2, 3, 1, 4, 2, 3. The string numbers, so that we don't get confused, I'm gonna count those. I'll try to say the name of them if I can remember, but we count them like this: 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. The 1st and the 6th, of course, are your E's. The 2nd string being your A, 3rd string being your D, 4th string being your G, 5th string being your B string, and again the 6th string being your E string. All right. So an easy way to get started with this guy, and typically a thing that makes it a lot easier for folks who are just starting out with a tune, right, is to know the shape of the tune. So we're going to start out with a simple shape. This makes a C shape, right? So your ring finger is on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, right? Your naughty finger is on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. The 4th string is open. The 5th string, first finger is on the 1st fret, and we're not going to worry about playing the 1st or the 6th string. So this is the shape that we're interested in, right? The second one is going to go 2nd fret, open, and then sorry. Open, 2, 3, and open. So, 2, open, 3, and open. So 2, open, 3, and open. And the third one is just a regular A minor shape. So you have this. would do is practice those three chords because that's really fundamental to the song. And changing between one and another. The picking pattern that you want for that is oh, sorry. And the last chord that makes the change before the B part of the song, you take your naughty finger and put it on your E string, your first string, right, on the second fret. Second string is open, third string is open. Ring finger on the second fret of the G string, right? Pinky finger on the third fret of the B string. When I say third fret, I mean counting from the capo, right? So 1, 2, this would be three frets. So third fret of the B string. And then we make our transition. So in time, I'll try to play it properly for you. And then to the next part. But I think that's enough moving forward for the first part. Again, this isn't your lesson. This is just some of the materials that we'll use. So your actual lesson refers to this video and also some tabs and some chord charts that I send you. So you'll look at that stuff, and then we'll get together using Skype or Google Hangouts to have your actual lesson. All right, so I'm looking forward to meeting you virtually, and I hope this has been useful. And let me know what you think, and most importantly, when it will be good for you to get together. So we'll figure a time that is good for us both, and that's it. So happy guitaring again, a great song. Take your time. Don't panic, all right? Anytime that you're starting something new like this, I want you not to be frustrated. Please recognize that everybody is in. We're all on the same path here. Everybody has been in your position at one time or another. And even professional musicians have to work and struggle and study at something. But take the long picture. Think about the goal. So picture in your mind playing this song and accompanying yourself successfully on it, and you'll do great. But don't be frustrated. How do you eat an elephant is one bite at a time, right? Take your time, and it's going to be fine. All right, I'll talk to you soon.